Welcome to Beyond the Music, the podcast where we dive into the lives and stories of people who shaped the world of music. I am Karina.
And I'm Lena. We're both classically trained singers, and this podcast is our chance to explore the fascinating intersections of music, history, and humanity.
In our previous episode, we explored the world's strangest instruments from Lena. And Lena, you picked some very interesting ones. From theremins to ice cellos. And today, we're diving into a musical duel, unlike any other. The Battle of the Bohèmes. So, let's set the scene. It's the early 1890s in Italy, and two major opera composers, Giacomo Puccini, everyone knows, and Ruggero Leoncavallo, also is well known. Both are working on operas based on the same novel, Science de la vie de Bohème by Henri Murger, which I've read. It is absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend it. But instead of collaborating, these composers go to war.
Right, and Leoncavallo actually claimed he had the idea first. In 1893, he wrote to the press accusing Puccini of stealing the subject. Puccini fired back, saying, "Let him compose and I will compose. The public will judge." It was a mic drop moment. 19th century style.
What followed was a unique moment in opera history. Two operas by two great composers premiered within 15 months of each other, both titled La Bohème, and both telling the story of Mimi, Rodolfo, and a circle of starving artists in Paris.
But here's the twist. While the basic story is the same, these operas are dramatically different in tone, structure, casting, and musical language. So today we're going to explore both versions and see how two composers made such different music from the same raw material.
Henri Murger's Science de la vie de Bohème isn't a typical novel. It's more like a collage of loosely collected stories based on his own life in the Latin Quarter of Paris. The characters are fictionalized versions of his real friends, writers, painters, musicians, all broke, idealistic, and wildly romantic.
And both Puccini and Leoncavallo cherry-picked moments from this source. Puccini focused more narrowly on the tragic love story between Rodolfo and Mimi, while Leoncavallo tried to cover more ground, giving equal weight to Marcello, Schaunard, Musetta, and even a richer Café Momus scene.
It's like Puccini gave us an aria, and Leoncavallo gave us a symphonic suite. One zooms in, while the other pans wide.
Let's talk style. Puccini was the master of musical intimacy. He knew how to use silence, softness, and musical restraint to make an emotional punch. His La Bohème is filled with those little moments that feel insanely real, like when Mimi drops her key and their hands touch in the dark.
Leoncavallo, on the other hand, came from the verissimo tradition, more gritty, more grounded in realism. His music is more declamatory, more about dramatic truth than lush lyricism.
Structurally, Puccini's opera is tight. 4 acts, all centered around the relationship between Mimi and Rodolfo. Leoncavallo's is more episodic, also 4 acts, but with longer crowd scenes and more ensemble writing. You get a broader picture, but the emotional core is more diffuse.
And fun fact, Leoncavallo starts his opera in the Café Momus and ends with Mimi dying to the sound of Christmas bells. Puccini's begins and ends in the attic, keeping the drama focused inward. That change alone shifts the entire mood.
One of the most fascinating differences is the casting. Puccini's Rodolfo is a tenor, and Marcello is a baritone, very traditional. In Leoncavallo's version, Rodolfo is a baritone and Marcello is a tenor. A total flip.
Well, Musetta is another example. Puccini wrote her as a bright, flirtatious soprano. Leoncavallo cast her as a mezzo, which gives her a more sultry, grounded tone. Even Schaunard and Colline have different vocal profiles in each version.
The arias reflect this too. Leoncavallo's Rodolfo has a major aria, Scuoti o vento, and Marcello sings Io non ho che una povera stanzetta. Beautiful pieces, but they didn't enter the canon the way Che Glinda Manina or Mi chiamano Mimi did in Puccini's.
It's not that Leoncavallo's music is worse. It's just that Puccini's melodies were stickier. There's a timelessness to them. When you hear O Soave Fanciulla, it lives in your bones.
But I actually really like that Leoncavallo did like Musetta as a mezzo and not a soprano.
Thank you, Leoncavallo.
That fits way better to the role. But okay.
Oh, but quando men vote, you cannot replace that. And I'm sorry, but a mezzo, I can only speak for myself, but I cannot sing Quando men vote anymore.
Well, let's be real. This wasn't just two composers having a creative coincidence. It was also about egos, publishers, and reputations.
Oh, yes. Puccini was backed by Ricordi, the powerhouse of Italian music publishing. Leoncavallo, oh yes, Ricordi is still around. And Leoncavallo had Sonsonio, Ricordi's rival. So this Battle of the Bohèmes was also a war between two music empires.
Yeah, and Ricordi won because I never heard of the
Yes.
other one. Puccini had another advantage. Conductor Arturo Toscanini, he led the premiere of Puccini's La Bohème in 1896 at Teatro Regio in Turin. It wasn't a huge success at first, but it had staying power.
Leoncavallo's version premiered in Venice in 1897. It had a respectable run and even some early acclaim, but it never gained the same momentum.
Leoncavallo eventually tried to rename his version Mimi Pinson in 1913 to avoid confusion, but it was too late. Puccini's La Bohème had already become iconic.
Today, Puccini's La Bohème is one of the top 5 most performed operas worldwide. It's a staple of every major house. It's been turned into films, musicals, Rent, Anyone, the more common musical theater production, and it continues to move audiences.
And Leoncavallo's La Bohème is more of a curiosity now. It gets revived occasionally, usually as a historical contrast, but it never entered the core repertoire. Ironically, Leoncavallo is remembered more for Pagliacci, which with its famous aria Vesti la giubba.
And yet, there's something fascinating about listening to both poems side by side. It reminds us how much freedom composers have, even when telling the same story.
And how artistic voice, personal style, is just as important as the story itself.
So who won the Battle of the Bohèmes? Well, history clearly crowned Puccini, but Leoncavallo's version deserves a little more credit than it gets.
It's an alternate take, a different artistic lens, and a reminder that even in competition, there's room for multiple truths. Maybe there's no loser here. Just one enduring masterpiece and one beautiful forgotten sibling.
I hope you enjoyed the Battle of the Bohèmes as much as we did. If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.
Next time, we'll delve into another fascinating chapter of music history. Until then, keep listening and discovering the stories beyond the music.
See you next time.